The president of the National African American Black Family Reunion Association is here. His name is Dr. Donald Evans. He believes keeping the black family intact is the key to the black community's survival. Dr. Evans, welcome back to WOL Radio.
Thank you, Carl, for having me
Dr.
back.
Well, thank you, sir, because we believe in your message that you say that the survival of the black community is really based on the survival of keeping that black family intact. I know you've been doing some things trying to get involved with the HBCUs and some of the churches. Can you bring us up to date? What's been going on?
Well, yes, Carl, but before we get into that, I want the family to know that for those of you that don't know, that one of our strong warriors went down recently. His name was Dick Gregory. I know that name is familiar to you, and I want to pause for a minute to say how much I love that brother. And I had occasion to soldier with him twice. That was in the James Byrd situation in Texas, and the other one was the Taisha Miller situation in Riverside, California. And at the time that I came in contact with him, we had the opportunity to look one another in our eyes and exchange our views and vision for our people. So I thank you for listening to me. Give honor to that brother's passing. I know he's home now, entertaining the ancestor with his sharp wit. Thank you. Yes, Carl, I have stepped up the pace for getting the families involved, and it's 7 programs that I have put out there that I'm working on as I speak to you. Every moment of my waking time, I'm busy in trying to get these projects that I have and what the ancestors bring to me in my sleep. And that's about getting our families together. That's where our strength is. Our strength is in these churches where the congregation, those congregations is made up of our families. And you can't separate the family from the church, and you can't separate the church from the family. And I want people to realize is that we're not as divided as we think we are, because we have marriage license, and that's a legal contract. And we intermarry in each other's families, each other's base families. And sometimes grandmother may be in one church down the street, she and grandpapa, and their son may be down the street preaching at another church. I mean, we're intermingled in the churches even. So we need to stop talking about we are divided and concentrate on where we can see that we are already united, and let us do everything that we can to maximize that in order for us to better take care of our children, because that is the future. And I have changed my philosophy. I am now focusing on our children 100% to start to putting them in business now, ownership-wise. How better to train the children than to have them in business where we can supervise them on site. In the military, they call it OJT. That's on-the-job training. And we want the children to own the businesses right now and start to build in that business. And I want all of those who are related to all of our celebrities that have money. I need this message to go out. I don't know of anybody in Mississippi that is black is begging an Oprah Winfrey or Russell Simmons or Dr. Dre to give that money away. But we are asking them to invest in your people. Franchise the businesses and let us create the jobs and let us train up the people to go to work so that we will not only be paying our way out of poverty, we will join praying our way out of poverty. And when you put those two forces together, we still have to find those white people that really believe in the honesty of humanity, that will give us a fair trade whenever we buy materials from them, because we don't produce anything. So we don't need to do any more talking. We need now to get our families registered. And I have set it up now where you can go to your computer right now and go to weareunitysunday.org. weareunitysunday.org. and register your family into this movement. And we need to do this as rapidly as we possibly can in order for us to get to a godly-sized number, and I'm talking about in the millions now, people. But we can start to leverage and change for ourselves.
Let me jump in here for a second, Dr. Evans, because you mentioned you called out some folks, some of the more wealthier ones in our community. Why would you think they would want to invest in anything like that? They want to keep the status quo. Why would they want to invest their money into building Black America?
Well, I'm going to say this, Carl. I don't think I could speak for all of them. I'm talking about the ones out there who know that they came from the loins of an African woman, the same as I did, the same as you did. We are already connected. There are some of them out there that have money that will see. They'll come here and investigate to see the power of franchising in order for us to create the jobs that we need. We plan to make their money. We don't plan to beg for their money. I've written to Snoop Dogg. I couldn't get the letter through. I've written to the brother there in Dallas, Texas, Kurt Franklin. I couldn't get the letter through. I've written to Oprah Winfrey. I couldn't get the letter through because of the children. I was writing them because of the children in Mount Bayou. Carl, these are some of the most magical children, I'm telling you, I have ever come in contact with. I mean, they win championships and they defeat the whole state of Mississippi in their division. And this town is less than 3,000 population. So it's out here for us to do. And we are willing to start doing from the bottom up. We're not talking about from the top down.
Yeah, and we agree with what you're trying to achieve. We're just, because they haven't helped us in the past. I'm just wondering if you think they had some sort of moral conviction over the last few weeks or days or so, that somehow they understand that they're Black and they want to help the Black community. Dr. Anderson been putting out the call and for them for help, and they still haven't. And he's got a plan laid out. That all they got to do is plug in and they're in. And they still haven't responded. One, he talked to one international entertainer and he said, "Yeah, I love what you're doing." He was in tears. He wanted to help Dr. Anderson. And after hearing him on the radio, and then he says, "Well, hit me back close to the tax time, at the end of tax time, at the end of the year." Dr. Anderson did, and he was in more tears. He was just bawling. He says his folks wouldn't let him do it because what Dr. Anderson wanted to do was too Black. So I'm just wondering, how successful do you think you can be? Because he's been down that road before with no results.
Well, you're 100% correct, Charles, because I recall when Dr. Anderson was there in Los Angeles and was attempting to put a food industry there, a fish industry there in Los Angeles, and I bought some of the stock and put my great-grandchildren, 6 of my great-grandchildren in it at that time. And people did not respond. And my approach is entirely different from just asking. I'm putting people on Blast Street, Carl. I'm not. Carl, I would be 90 years old come November the 7th. And I want to see change. I'm a veteran. I'm retired. There are veterans out here. I'm asking more people to get involved. Don't stand on the sideline and expect for the game to only entertain you. You must become the game. I'm using a lot of approaches, and I have a lot. I meant to send you a package today, but we're getting some weather in my area, Carl, that has to do with Harvey. And it isn't easy for us right now to do some of the things that we think that we're going to do that has to do with the internet and what have you. But you will get some information within a few days, I assure you.
Okay, so is the hurricane, or I guess it's a storm now, is it heading your way?
We're getting part of the weather part, Carl, like rains and what have you. The VA called me twice to warn me that if I don't have to go anywhere, I don't need to be out on the highways, because we expect to have weather here in Mississippi all this weekend. And we've had some of it this morning already, early before day. So
let me ask you this though. But back to what you're trying to achieve, Dr. Evans. Why? I mean, you could really just cruise into your retirement. You don't have anything to prove to anybody. You've done a lot of stuff in your lifetime, seen a lot of stuff. Why is this so important to you, keeping the black family intact? Why does it mean so much to you?
Well, for one thing, Carl, I've been a very, very fortunate man. As you very well know, I have lived far past the age that the average black man lived in this country. From all of the prejudice and all of the things that put pressure on us, that caused us to die before any of the other ethnicities in the country. It's about time it's time for you to start collecting Social Security. You die and leave it for somebody else. But the reason why, Carl, in response to the question that you're asking me, I'm the father of 6 children and the grandfather of 11. My oldest granddaughter transitioned, and then I'm the great grandfather.
Tell you what, hang on a sec, Dr. Evans. We got to take a quick break here. We got to check our weather and traffic in the DMV. I'll let you answer that question on the other side, folks. You too can join our discussion with Dr. Donald Evans. The number to call to reach him is 800-450-7876. We'll take your calls next as the big show continues from FM 95.9 and AM 1450 WOL, where information is power.
News that's close to home. Close to home. Listen, WOL, News Talk 1450 AM and 95.9 FM.
And thanks for staying with us, folks. Our guest is Dr. Donald Evans. He believes that keeping the black family intact is key to the black community. He founded this group called the National African American Family Reunion Association, and that's what a part of his mission. As I mentioned, he told us earlier that he's been here on this planet 9 decades. And my question to him is, why at this point in his life, why is he doing this? I mean, he could really just cruise out and just relax. But Dr. Evans, I'm gonna let you finish your response. You were telling us why you do the things you do, because you've been involved in a lot of causes in your lifetime as well.
Yes, Carl. And when I first met you, I have a prison ministry that Brother Ali and I had founded, and that prison ministry is still going strong in California, and is also a part of what I'm doing here in Mississippi. But to get back to your question, why do I do this? Carl, I've been in Korea during the war between North Korea and South Korea. And the last time I was in a war zone was in Vietnam. And I saw things that just sickened me, Carl. And what I mean by that is that I saw pictures where we were blowing families up that never knew anything about the war. All that they was interested in doing was getting out there in the rice paddy and trying to grow rice in order to take care of their families and what have you, and didn't know, even couldn't define war if their lives depended on it. They were just peasant people trying to live. And that was the first time that I had seen pictures where babies were blown apart from bombs that come out of planes way up in the sky. And I went to mass that next morning after I saw pictures like that at the NCO club, that some of the Tiger troops out of South Korea that were supporting us over there were showing around the table and laughing about it and what have you. And one of the NCOs at my table asked to let him see the pictures, and then he passed them around our table. And when they came into my hand, it was like somebody had me a hand of hot coal, Carl, when I saw what those pictures were. And when I went to Mass, I went to confession, I asked God, but why am I here? What is my purpose here? Because I'm losing it. And the priest and the confessional told me, don't try to excuse what's going on here with my sinful nature. And I didn't understand that. I made the sign of the cross, and I got up off my knees, and that's the last time I went to confession again in my life, because there was something wrong, and I needed answers. I needed answers that give me purpose for being here. And I promised to God that I see in my mind, the God of my origin, if you will get me out of this mess, I guarantee you I will try to keep my way, my life out of a war. And I got out of the military specifically to go to the university so I could start to researching and know who I am and what is my purpose. And I gave my word to the God that I see in my mind. I couldn't stop if I wanted to, Carl. My word is out there to the God that I love dearly. And I have a family, and I want this country to be safe for my family. How could I turn my back, Carl, on the foundation that my people died to build, the strongest foundation of any country on this planet? Our people build that foundation. All of the people that's in Washington, D.C. right now running the country with their billions of dollars, they made that money standing on the foundation of my people. I couldn't walk away, Carl, if I wanted to. That's why.
So Dr. Evans, let me interrupt you and ask you this then, Dr. Evans. Some people are saying that we'll never get any justice here in the United States. We should just go back to the continent, find a way back to the continent, and reside over there. You're not buying that. You're not into the group that wants to leave, are you?
No, Carl. Let me state right there. And I'm glad you brought that point up. I just got through saying I can't stand on the sideline and watch the game go on. We need money now, Carl. There is money in us. If we are anything like 40 million people, there's something wrong with us. If we can't build pyramids in our mind, if we are the direct gene lineage of those ancient Egyptians, if the Jews are still the lineage, the gene lineage of those that came to Egypt to be fed, I know I must be in the gene lineage of the ones that fed them, and I'm still here. They're still here. We're still here. But the thing is, Carl, we have to concentrate on us. We have to concentrate on us. Right now, if somebody gave you 2 countries or 3 countries in Africa and said, okay, you can move out and go back there, do you think that we're going to be able to get 40 million people to get up and walk away from here and go, come on, we can't wait around for that. Yes, I'm for that, Carl. But that will be hundreds of years after I'm dead and gone in my grave. You think I'm going to want all of this condition of our people to stay the same? No. I'm involved in children. I have the confidence that the children need to know the truth. And we are having these liberation walks. I'm asking 1 million liberation walks in this country involving our children. On the 9th.
And Dr. Evans, when you say children, what age are you referring to now?
Well, let me say it this way, Carl. I had some children in my backyard on the 19th. I had 60 of them in the backyard of all ages. But it was something that was missing that disturbed me. It was mostly little boys. And when I say little boys, I'm talking about the 6-year-old and girls of all ages. But the boys, the ones that we need, our males, they were not there. There was boys walking up and down the streets in my bayou with basketball and footballs in their hand. And that's what you have to compete with when you talk about our males. But that, I think, will be corrected on the 9th because we're going to do another liberation walk. We're going to put it up on Facebook so people will see what I mean when I say liberation. Because we're talking about liberating our minds from the things we will no longer accept. And one of them, chief, is the miseducation of our children. And we don't have the money to start our school system. That's in the future. But right now, I'm asking the children to homeschool their parents. And that may sound kind of weird, Carl, but a lot of the children, we can get to them much easier than we can get to the parents. But we want a conversation going on in each one of the families throughout Black Folk America. We want a conversation going on about our history and our culture and our God in the house, around the dinner table, among the children and the parents. We have got to start a dialogue talking about who we are. We don't have the money to create no large school system, but we definitely have the ability to do it. If we're talking about stopping the miseducation of our children, we got to put something in place of it. We need to put the education of our children about who they are and tell them the truth. because you don't have to look far to know that you're not blonde-headed, you're not blue-eyed, and you know that was not our Jesus. You can't lie to the children and expect the children to behave correctly. I came to Mound Bayou, Mississippi because of the children here. When I found out that the little girls had won the state basketball championship and doubled back and won the state track in that division. They beat all of these schools in Mississippi. All of these schools whose coaches, some of them making over $1 million a year in contract. And you ought to see the facilities that ours have to train in here with a school named after one of our presidents, John F. Kennedy. It's just so much magic in this town, Carl, but we got to work on it, Carl. It is not a given. Nobody's going to give us liberation. We got to liberate our minds, first of all. And then we got to get out here and liberate our behinds and get involved and start to working on change.
Well, let's get to the essence of the issue here with the black family, because you say that's the key to the survival of the black community is the black family. And if we believe the Census Bureau, and we talked about this the last time you were here, more than 75% of black families are now headed by a single mother. Isn't that where we if you were going to try to save the black families, isn't that somewhere that you should start? How are we going to turn those numbers around?
I say, rather than saying turn them around, I would rather say let's put our arms around and embrace them into our total struggle. There's no separatists in our struggle. All of that is a part of our struggle. Miseducation of our children is a part of the struggle. Single parenting is a part of the trouble. Unemployment is a big part of keeping these men home and stop them from roaming around free because they don't have jobs. And we know, I don't care who you read, every book that I read tell you about what has happened to the black male. The black male has been attempted to be destroyed, and they failed to do that. But we have got to come together as a family and take care of ourselves. Sure, single parentage is among us. Is it a problem? That's one way of looking at it. Is it a situation that is correctable? That's another way of looking at it, because we have a grandparent website up now. And our grandparents are to put up grandparent centers so that these single parents will be able to be trained in order to take care of their children. And the ones who are responsible for making that young lady a single parent and walked off and left her has to be held accountable. We don't want him in jail because of it, but we do want him to have
Hold that thought right there, Doc. Hang on, Dr. Evans. We're going to take a quick break. I'll let you finish your thought on the other side. And then when you come back, also tell us if this is by accident or by design, why there's so many single mothers that are taking care of, head of households, I should say, in the black community. 800-450-7876 to speak to Dr. Evans. We'll take your calls next on FM 95.9 and AM 1450 WOL, where information is power.
Nelson Show is here daily from 4 to 7 p.m. on WOL. News Talk 1450 AM and 95.9 FM.
And thanks for staying with us, folks. Our guest is Dr. Donald Evans. He founded what is known as the National African American Family Union Association, and he really believes that keeping the black family intact is the key to the black community's survival. Before we left out, I posed a question to him if he thought that the fact that the fragmentation of the black family, was it by accident or was it by design? Is it just we got some trifling brothers out there, or is there another hand working that's keeping us apart, knowing and they actually know what you know, that keeping the black family intact is the key to the survival of the black community. So, Dr. Evans, I'll let you finish up what you were going to say, and then if you can answer that question for me, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, yes, Carl, I will address that right now. If you read the way that I read and study every day of my life, all of our scholars that have studied this problem and they answer this problem in such a way that they prove to you without a shadow of a doubt that this is by design to destroy the black man in order to destroy the black family. And any time that we are the ones not working or don't have jobs, and our men are floating around out here, we have females that is looking for a strong man. They have a right to do that. This is nature playing in on the act of what man. We know what the Western man has done to the black man. That's no secret. That isn't something that's hidden. I'm not the one saying this by myself. I have 2 volumes of The Black Family. That's the title of the book. And some of our strongest scholars is in this book. And they tell you what I'm telling you now, how the black man has been put upon, how he is being put upon, and how he is going to continue to be put upon until we ourselves fix this problem. We're going to have to do that. We have to engage everybody, the children and everybody else. And what I was starting to tell you a few minutes ago, that's on the 9th, we're going to do this walk again. And I went over to the school and talked to the coach that held these magical girls that's been winning these championships. And I asked her if she will bring those athletes out there to walk with us on the 9th, 2 blocks to a church, and go inside and discuss liberation. We're not going inside of the church on this occasion to talk about religion. We're going in there to talk about correcting some of the ills that afflict us as a people. And these are no jokes, because I'm asking for 1 million of these throughout the United States. This is empowering our Akabulian African youth. Akabulian is the word. Africa is an ancient Roman word. All of what I am telling you, I will put a listing of the books up if that's what's needed for people to read it and understand how our black males have been put up on, how they're still being put up on, and how this helps to create the condition for young ladies to become impregnated, and a young man going down the street to find another one to impregnate. That's going on. Yes, it's going on. Is it painful? Yes, it's painful. I'm a father. Most of the children in my family, most of my great-grandchildren are females. In my brother's family in Portland, Oregon, my oldest nephew there has 13 children. 12 of them are boys. The boys is in that side. We have to correct the whole societal problem that we have. And when we said we want to go somewhere else, it would be nice if we could go somewhere else. But let me tell you something about that. Let's go somewhere else. I'm scared to go anywhere where I get away from that bomb that can be dropped on me and it don't hurt you. I want to be close enough to you that anything you do to me, you're doing it to yourself. Until we can cure the problem of the nervousness of those who have the bomb. Look at the young man in North Korea. How agitated he is. And look at how agitated our president is in response to him. These are 2 people that have nuclear weapons. But there are others' hand gets itchy too to get to the trigger because they have nuclear weapons. Ever since our president has been in power, we haven't did nothing but talk about Russia. And whether they meddled into his being elected, he certainly Russia has captured the conversation of our government because the government don't have time to look to the needs of the government because they're too busy talking about other things. And I didn't mean to get on that side track because...
Right. Well, you know what? Hang on a second, Dr. Evans. We got some people who want to speak to you. And see if they can help you in your question, or if they believe what you say, that keeping the black family intact is the key to the black community's survival. If that's the real key, we're in big trouble. 800-450-7876 to speak to Dr. Evans. Let's go to line one. Nabuda's reaching out to us. He's calling from the district. Nabuda, you're on with Dr. Evans.
If that's the real key, we're in big trouble.
I don't think Nabuda's ready. He's not listening on the phone. Let's move on to line two then. Anthony's calling from Silver Spring in Maryland. Anthony, you're on with Dr. Evans.
Hey, how are you doing? This is more of a comment than anything. I know you asked the question about the conspiracy, or is this a plan way of, help? If this thing with black males being planned, and I have to say it is, there's an organization out there called Tavistock. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Tavistock Institute. On the outside, they look like they're doing, what's that?
Tavistock, yeah. Tavistock Institute, yeah. You're correct. Go ahead.
They kind of do things pretty on the outside, but behind the scenes, they do some things that are kind of in your face, but we as American people don't seem to get it right away or get it at all. And then there's other entities out there that underhandedly, they used to be what do you call them, secret societies or whatever. Now they're more so in your face and letting you know, hey, this is what we're doing, and it's almost like, okay, what are you going to do about it? So.
But Anthony, and we've heard those claims before. Let me ask you, because since you're familiar with the Tavistock Institute, what's the end game then? Why us? Why not they go after the Asians? Why not go after Hispanics? Why the black man?
I don't think it's just us. I think they're doing other things to other races as well, or religions. But it's so I'm not going to just say they're just singling out the black man, but we, and this is just my personal opinion with this, we have an issue working together in order to combat some of these issues, whereas maybe some of the other races and religions, they know it's out there and they're really trying to fight back to prevent certain things from happening. But once an entity finds out that, hey, we pit them against one another, then hey, let's keep doing it. What else can we do out there that, pits them against one another so they can't get ahead? So I hope that answers your question.
Right. Well, let's see what Dr. Evans thinks. Thanks, Anthony. Dr. Evans, you heard what Anthony said. Do you agree with what he says?
Carl, I don't know if it was a question in there or not, but let me say this, and I want to be very clear. I want everybody to hear me. I'm not talking about one thing. I have a fully developed plan that includes everything that we've been discussing up to this point is in this plan for us to take care of it. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a plan that black people can take care of their problem. Sure, there are other things going on in this country, but we don't have time to be entertaining other people's problems because we haven't solved our own problems. I'm talking about a plan. I'm asking us to understand the plan before we say that the plan won't work. I want you to understand the plan. I've gone to great problems to make sure that I can get literature to you so you can discuss. Now having it put up on all of the websites that is connected to this plan so that you couldn't miss getting copies of the plan so that you can understand it. There's another brother right there in Washington, D.C. His name is John Cheek. And John is working on getting reparations. That's also inside of us. We have a debt owed to us. But if you stand around and wait for these people in the United States of America to pay off that debt, many millions of us is going to continue to die because we didn't stop to take care of our problems. That's where I am. I'm about taking care of our problems. John Cheeks has come on this show, I'm sure. If you haven't, Carl, you need to get him on there. He has a Recovery Act. And by now he has put it into a bill so that it will be voted into law there in Washington, D.C., in the city of Washington, D.C., not the government. And
Right,
all
he's
of
been on
these
several
things-
times. Go ahead, Doc.
All of these things that I am telling you, I'm saying, first of all,
Right. All right, hang on a sec, Doc. I got to stop you now again because we got to take a quick break and check the traffic and weather in the DMV again. I'll let you finish your thought on the other side. We got some folks who want to speak to you at 800-450-7876 on FM 95.9 and AM 1450 WOL, where information is power.
Tom Joyner Morning Show and Carl Nelson in the afternoon on 1450 and 95.9 WOL.
And thanks for staying with us, folks. Our guest is Dr. Donald Evans. He's the president of the National African American Family Reunion Association. And again, I've been telling you all along, he says keeping the black family intact is the key to the black community's survival. Before we get back to him, let me remind you, coming up later, the master teacher, Brother Ashraf Qureshi, is going to be here. He's just back from Africa, and he's going to tell us about his trip. Also, he's going to tell us more about Africa's contributions to civilization and Christianity, and any other question you want to pose to him. It's going to be a classroom setting. You know how to speak to him. Just raise your hand by dialing 800-450-7876. And in the next few days, you're going to hear from the man with the plan. That's Dr. Claude Anderson. His new book is called A Black History Reader, 101 Questions You Never Thought to Ask. It says it answers every question that you can think of, even stuff that's going on right now. The answer is in that book. And he's also going to make a special announcement. And also, Dr. James Taylor is going to be with us. He's a political science professor from the University of San Francisco and UC Berkeley, and one of the best in the business. We're going to talk about what Donald Trump's been doing and the civil rights issues and all that kind of good stuff. So tell your friends to keep it locked on FM 95.9 and AM 1450 WOL. Where information, of course, is power. Dr. Evans, I'm going to let you finish up what you were saying before we left for the traffic and weather update.
I was getting ready to say, Carl, is that the one thing that we don't have, which we're going to work on as soon as we can get these families registered to a godly-sized number that I'm talking about, and that is our perpetual treasury. That's to build our own money, the same way Black Wall Street had its own money, and Black Wall Street was only a city. We are a nation now of black people. And we need our own money in order to finance the things that Dr. Claude Anderson is talking about. And he's 100% correct. Dr. Claude Anderson isn't the only one out there with a good plan. But we need money because Brother Ray down there in Florida is in an area where some of the people is living close to toxic dumps and it's killing. And they're too poor to move away. We don't have money to help them. As a people, our problem is a people problem, and we got to come together as a people. Our churches, I'm dealing with sisters up there in Memphis right now, and some of you may know this lady. Her name is Gina Stewart. She's one of the best preachers that I have ever heard in my life. That sister is phenomenal, and I'm asking her to assist in getting the mega churches to come on board. This is no time for us to be acting divisive because we see the condition of the government and what is happening up there. We don't need to get in on that fight. We need to get in on our fight, correct our problems, strengthen up ourselves in order to protect ourselves and in order to negotiate with those in power. And you can find that in Blueprint for Black Power, written by Amos Wilson, if you need a book to read. If you think I'm just blowing off steam, there's a plan in there.
And let me interrupt you and ask you this, Dr. Evans. There's a plan in that book that you mentioned. Dr. Claude Anderson got a plan, but how are we going to get our people to stick to the plan? How are we going to get them to the plan? You know, many of our people, let's be real, don't like to read, and those who do really don't really take to heart what's in the books, like the plan that you mentioned. Amos Wilson's been out for a while, and yet still not many takers.
You are 100% correct, Carl. I could ask 10 people right here in my bayou right now if they know anything about Dr. Woodson's miseducation of the Negro. And they don't even know what I'm talking about. And I said, well, that's been out 84 years. I mean, you should have ran across it. You were in school yourself at one time. But they don't know this. And no, I never heard of it. I said, well, you're going to hear of it because we're going to teach it to your children and have your children to teach it to you by homeschooling you. It's things that we have to do that we have never done before, Carl, is what I'm talking about. I'm not just blowing off steam. I have a plan, and I'm going to activate that plan. And I've been trying to get in on front page in Los Angeles, California, because I need to be talking about people out there because most of my strength is in California. That's where I came from. But now I'm moving in your direction, Carl. I'm headed toward the east in order to build shopping and banking black in order for us to be financing our cars. But we got to teach our children that we want you, when you come out of college, we want you to be talking about having car dealerships. That's the cars that you are driving are going to be manufactured on the continent of Africa. I mean, that's
right.
What,
hang on a sec, Doc, because we got some folks who want to talk to you. 800-450-7876 to speak to Dr. Evans. Let's go to Nabuda. I hope he's ready. He's on line one again, calling from the district. Nabuda?
Yeah, I have a problem. Okay, you say you named a school. What's that name of the school you say you named? He said he named a school? JF something?
School?
You say you named
Dr.
a
Evans?
school something.
I said there is a high school here in Mount Bayou named John F. Kennedy.
Okay, who named that?
I don't know the history. I'm not from here. I'm only telling you about the name of the high school. That is the name of the high school. I can send you information if you plan to do something with it. If you just
no, because I'm gonna ask you something else. Okay, then the thing is the from Eisenhower to Kennedy, they assassinated Matrice Lubamba, and I think the president of Ghana, Nkrumah. The Congo cables the Cold War in Africa by Carl Medley. But what I wanted to ask you was, Reverend Sharpton, the march they had here, Reverend, what's the name?
That was Reverend Sharpton. What's the question, though?
Reverend
We got a bunch
Sharpton,
of folks who want to speak to it.
Reverend Sharpton got different ministers together, right? And you just spoke about we have to come together. Okay. Now, Dr. Claude Anderson, Umar Johnson, the man who got the 1 million. I'm one of the 1 million. You know his name, Carl.
Right. We just pose the question. We know we get the premise where you're going. What's the question?
Is why we always talk? You have a good plan. Have you sent your plan to Claude Anderson, Umar Johnson, and those just are two of the
1 million. All right. Let's give him a chance to respond. Thank you, Nabuda. All right, thank you for your question. His question is: have you sent you to the Dr. Anderson? Have you sent your plan to the 1 million conscientious Black voters and contributors? Have you sent it to all those various groups?
I haven't sent no plans to anyone. I put the plan up so everybody interested in the plan could pull it down. That's what I'm telling you, and I made that statement when I came on the air. I am now putting the plan out there on all of our websites in order for you to download it, in order for you to have access to the information. Everything that I do, because I haven't raised any money to do what I do, everything I do out of my pocket. I'm on a fixed income. I don't go out here trying to raise money and beg people to believe in me if I won't believe in myself. To answer your question, that information you can go to right now to find out how to register into it by weareunitysunday.org. The other website is NAAFRA, NAAFRA.org.
All right, we got some more folks to talk. We'll let you give out that information later on, Dr. Evans. Folks, stay with us. You want to help Dr. Evans. Again, he's the founder, the president of the National African American Family Reunion Association, Black African American Family Reunion, pardon me, and he believes that the key to the black community survival is keeping the black family intact. Let's go to line 3. Howard's calling us from Los Angeles. Howard, you're on with Dr. Evans.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Evans, for taking my call. I had the privilege of serving with you in the Air Force at March Air Force Base. Matter of fact, he was my first sergeant, as you call that. And you were always into our people. I guess way back, I must thank you for the service to our people, not the service to our country, but the service to you always in the service to our people. And I'm calling because our family unit has been by design disrupted. It started back when he was kidnapped and brought here, and it's always been by design. This first thing that's been about the black man disrupt the family unit. That's the basic human family thing. Institution is the family. And after the destruction, one thing that happened to us was our families were trying to reconnect with each other. People were wandering around trying to find their loved ones that were sold off different plantation things. Only question I have for you, Dr. Evans, you mentioned the brother last time I called. I haven't had a chance to reconnect with him. Was I think Big John over there in St. John Episcopal Church over by the Watchtowers. What's his name? How do I get with him? Hello?
Yes. What was that?
Hello?
About St. John Methodist Church?
Yeah, right there by the Watchtowers. What's your brother's name? Big John or something like that?
And the brother there is Dozier, is his last name, Larry Dozier.
Okay, he has an organization that's dealing with the black family and something of that nature.
That's my church. I'm still a member of that church. And yes, they're still involved with me.
Okay, when do that mean? Is it on Wednesday evening or something like that? I'd like to know when
I tell you what, Howard, we're gonna get your number because it's kind of moving off topic. So we're gonna get your number. We'll pass it on to the Dr. Evans because we got some other folks who want to speak to him. 800-450-7876. Lawrence is calling us. He's in Arlington, Texas. Lawrence, you're on with Dr. Evans.
Thanks for taking my call, Carl, and good evening, Dr. Evans.
All right, brother. How are you?
I'm all right, my brother. Hey, I commend you for even stepping out and saying that if we don't save the family, black people as we know it in America are over. I agree 1,000%. And I don't really know no conscious thinking person, black person that is, who would disagree with you. Now, we got some idiots who going to say that. But my question to you, Dr. Evans, is this. We both agree, and thousands of your listeners agree with you. But what I want to ask you is this. We all on the same page, so we don't have to talk about saving the black family because we know that that's critical. We got to do that, so we agree. But what do you say about this? My brother, don't you think it's high time that we call out, like you said, you want to talk to this other sister to get these mega churches? My question to you is, don't you really see that the mega churches are what's really killing us internally, black people in America? Our churches have just gave up the ghost. They don't even believe in us, the people, no more. They are all out for themselves, and they want to glorify themselves in the white man's image. They want to make themselves like the big mega white churches. Now we got all these black preachers trying to be like the Joe Osteen.
Right.
Or
I tell you what, Lawrence, I thank you for your question, but we've racing the clock, and I want to give him a chance to respond. But I thank you for your call. Dr. Evans, he says the mega churches is really the problem that's facing us.
We have got to get in those mega churches. Those mega churches are made up of black families. The congregations in any church in Black Folk America is made up of black families. That's who we're talking about. That's how we have got to.
All right, hang on a second, Doc. We got to take the break. As I mentioned, we're running up close to the top of the hour. We got to allow our stations to identify themselves, and then I'll let you finish your response. 800-450-7876. Asha Kwesi's class starts next, right here on FM 95.9 and AM 1450. WOL, where information is power. Union Association, And the key is that he thinks that the success or the survival of the black community is really based on keeping the black family intact. Momentarily, we're going to be speaking with Brother Ashra Kwesi. The class is going to start when he steps into the room. But I'm going to let Dr. Evans finish up what he was saying, his response to Lawrence's question out of Arlington, Texas. Dr. Evans?
Yeah, Brother Lawrence, we're in the process of trying to get the mega churches in Memphis, Tennessee, to come on board to be the model, because that's the city that Dr. King was taken out in. And this sister, Gina Stewart, has agreed to assist me in getting the mega churches on board, hers first of all. I let somebody inside of the church, one of the youth inside the church that have a laptop, started registering the families into the movement. So I don't want to fight with the mega churches. I want to get inside of the mega churches and bring them on board without a struggle. We don't need to be fighting among ourselves. That's what has defeated us in the past, and I won't do that. So my number, in case you
go ahead.
Talk to me about, my number is 213-247-4189. Let me repeat. That's 213-247-4189. And if you can't remember that, get in contact with the Carl Nelson Show, and I'm sure they'll give it out to me again, because I permit anybody to give that number out. But if you call me just wanting to argue with me about some Negro BS, don't call my number.
All right. And again, the premise is that your group is to register and keep the black family intact. You want to register as many black families as possible, and now you're going after the young people. I know you're also appealing to the HBCUs, the black college students as well.
Yes, I want them to come on board to help us to register our black families, help us to strengthen them up. Because once we come together in the large numbers that I'm talking about, Carl, our markets come home with them. We have our own markets. Those people that's going to the historical black colleges and universities right now, by the time they get their degrees, they can come home and make their millions by marketing whatever it is that they want to do into their people like other people do. That's what I'm talking about.
Gotcha. All right. 800-450-7876 is the number to call. Brother Kwesi, you know Brother Ashra Kwesi, right, Dr. Evans?
Of course, Carl.
I beg your pardon?
I believe in it doing, and I want to be able to teach the children what he's doing and the importance of what he's doing.
All right, Brother Ashra Kwesi's right here. Brother Kwesi. Hotep.
What's up? Peace, Brother Carl. Honored to be on your show. And great to hear an elder also bringing forth some master work to help bring the family together.
All right. Dr. Evans?
Yes, Brother Carl, I thank you for having me on. And I would appreciate if you can get a word to Dominique that I need to be on her program there in Los Angeles.
All right, we'll hook it up for you, Dr. Evans. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
That's
God bless.
That's Dr. Donald Evans, folks, and he's the founder, the president of the National African American Family Reunion Association. He's on this planet for 9 decades now, and he's still a soldier, still working hard. He says the key to the black community's survival is keeping the black family intact. He's making it his lifelong mission to do that, and I'm glad he had a chance to speak to it.